1 minute. All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. And first, I believe, Commissioner Davis, you have someone for the invocation?
Yes, Reverend Dexter R. Burney, St. Paul Baptist Church.
Please stand.
Shall we pray? God, you taught your disciples to pray, saying, Our Father, which art in heaven. And you then reminded them to request from you, give us this day our daily bread. And tonight we make the same request that those that are seated in this seat of commissioner, give them this day their daily bread. Let your will be done in this earth as it is in heaven. Therefore, God, as your disciples pray, we start this first commissioners meeting with prayer, requesting from you and you alone spiritual bread. God, tonight is a spiritual request, not for bread to be placed on our tables, but for bread that gives us clarity of mind, the power to see beyond the now, and the wisdom to make sound choices and decisions. Tonight we ask for spiritual nourishment that gives us spiritual discernment, to know the difference between right and wrong, the difference between good and evil, when evil is disguised as a lamb. We pray for spiritual discernment to see the real intents of hearts, and it's not just led by words, but what we hear and what we say. The discernment to see through the fog and darkness of times and still see your light. Give us spiritual bread to know the difference between growth and setbacks. Give us spiritual discernment not to only see others, but to have the vision of our times. And give us the spiritual sense to see ourselves. Give us the power of conviction that irritates and makes us uncomfortable until we correct what we've done wrong and who we've done wrong to. We need spiritual bread. We need nourishment. Lord, give us growth. And if you do this for us, for your glory, our county will be great and our county will be healthy. Therefore, God, we ask you not to just make us better, but allow us to be your best. Help us not to just pray as a ritual, but to make us righteous. But help us to pray because you desire to see our face. We desire to see your face and have the favor of God in our government. While our country is in crisis, rising costs and the rich and the well-to-do unable and unwilling to understand affordability, God, you make the path straight for us. A time when color of skin and origin oppresses and impedes opportunity, a time where love is waxing cold and hatred is running rapid, a time where lies are embraced and truth is unrevered. But we remind you of 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, humble themselves and seek my face and pray and turn from their wicked ways, you will heal our land. God, let your will be done in this earth as it is in heaven. Your will be done in this city and our county. We will live where we live and love this Baldwin County community. We pray for your predestined will and your peace. We set a tone and pace for tonight. for this first business session of this new year. We upset division, we bust down barriers and barricades, we pull down the curtains. So God, please set a hedge fence of protection around this commission and this chamber for this new year. As Isaiah prayed, no weapon formed against us will prosper. We pray this year will be filled with prosperity, productivity, and progress. We pray for the provision of our city and our county needs has already been released. We pray for the problems and the problems that may arise that they have already been resolved. Businesses for space, industry calling for development and stationing in our county. And God, as our commissioners and administrators, engineers, police, road department, and every employee set in this county business, not for awards or recognition, we ask that you bless them and bless their families as they seek to do your business. Then God, as we close this prayer, we pray for our commissions to walk in conviction, character, compassion, and a commitment, not just for the people that they serve, but all of Baldwin County. For when we win, all of Baldwin County wins. In spite of, give our commissioners the power to win for our county, because we all win when Baldwin wins. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Amen.
Commissioner Hall, lead us in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Happy New Year. We have a couple of presentations tonight. The first, I've been excited about for some time. We've tried to work this out. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm so excited. Let's start with the approval of the minutes. So,
Mr. Chairman, that we approve all the minutes from the 16th, 22nd, and 22nd.
Second.
any discussion needed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now, Dr. Brooks, would you come up? I understand you have am I out of order again?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Are we gonna move this down
If you want.
too late? I didn't know.
I'm sorry, Dr. Brooks.
I didn't know if the clerk had spoke to you about that.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay. I make a motion that we move number 4, selection of Commissioner Chair and Vice Chair to the end.
To number 7.
7, right. We can swap 7 and
All right.
And what's the purpose?
just do it at the end of the meeting. Just usually it's,
All right, there's a motion and a second. Commissioner Little, you have reservation?
I just didn't know why we were doing it.
yeah, we just usually.
It sounds
do
like
at
just
the end.
because.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. Any further discussion needed? All right, all in favor of amending the agenda, or I'm sorry, not amending, swapping item 4 with item 7?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And Ms. Liggins, I know this may concern you because you signed up to speak on issue 7. So will you just help me remember, Ms. Liggins? Yes, I will. Thank you. Now, Dr. Brooks. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come before you. I'm Christy Brooks, the superintendent in Baldwin County Schools, and I have been here since July, and it has been such a great honor to be part of this community. And first, I want to begin to say how much I appreciate so many of our commissioners, our mayor, our agencies, our police, our police department from the county and the city. So many have just been so welcoming and are so supportive of the work that we're doing. And I know that there are so many options in Baldwin County that provides family the opportunity for multiple choices in education. And as I stand before you, it's just an honor to say our goal is to educate our children to find success, to be a difference maker in this community, and I appreciate that opportunity that we have. So I just want to talk a little bit about where we are, what we've been doing. You've heard, hopefully, if you've been following any of our social media, our mantra is Believe in Baldwin. Our goal is for our students to graduate, seek college, career, find their passion, and be part of this community and be the next leaders. So we want to make sure that as we believe in Baldwin, that we're doing our work in the school system to help our community with that. For those who may not be aware, we have 6 traditional schools. That means we have 1 middle school, 1 high school. Within that, we have a lot of options, one being our SAGE program at the middle school, the Georgia College Early College program, which supports grades 6 through 12. At our Early Learning Center, which begins at birth, we have a Montessori program that goes all the way to 5th grade, but that is also part of our Head Start program and our Georgia Pre-K program, which is no cost to parents, and that registration will soon be opening. And we have a College and Career Academy, which is part of our high school. And the purpose of that College and Career Academy is to meet the workforce needs that are in our community. And then we also have a Success Academy, and that is to make sure that our students who need a non-traditional approach have that opportunity as well. The Baldwin County School System is the 2nd largest employer in our county. And I share that because not only are we to educate our children, but we are a business. And as a business, we need to be financially good stewards of our taxpayer dollar. We need to have a strong return on investment in the work that we're doing. And we also still need to realize that our main purpose is to educate children to make a difference in this community. Currently, we have a $58 million budget. We spend about $12,600 per student. And I just want you to know that in average, the state is about $11,700. So we're a little bit of about $1,000 over the state average, but right in line with what the state spends per student. This year, we were able to take the property rollback for our taxes. Our millage rate is now 12.07, which is one of the lowest in the areas. 52% of Georgia counties have a millage rate between 13 and 17 mills. So we're very pleased with that. And we know that we want to, again, be good stewards of that property tax money, and also to make our community aware that within that 12.07 mills, we are required by state law to give 5 mills back to the state every year. Every school system has to do that. That money is redistributed across the state for counties that are in need, and that's called equalization. And currently, Baldwin County receives no equalization. So for our taxpayers to also realize within that 12.07 mills, 5 mills goes back to the state, and we don't receive anything from that. That's state law. I'm very pleased with the elected officials we have at the state, as we can work with both of those individuals to continue advocating for fair practices at the state, because we don't want the property owners in Baldwin County to bear the educational costs across the state. We want to be able to focus our work on our county. As we move forward, I do want to share with you a little bit about our mission. Our mission truly is to educate students to become, that's our demographics, to provide our mission, which is to educate students to become contributing members of our community. One more. We want to make sure that every student who graduates is able to be a vital contributor here in Baldwin County. And we're going to do that in several ways. And first, I want to begin with what that looks like in terms of literacy. Literacy is our cornerstone. We must have a literate society, and our focus has been 100% about continuing the work on making sure our students are not just literate by reading, but in their oral language, in their writing, and in their critical thinking. We've had significant progress in that area. We know that we have much to do, but we have returned back to what is considered the basics, the science of reading, where we're focusing on phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, comprehension, so that our students are making real meaning of what they read and able to do something with those words. Currently, at our last Georgia Milestones, fourth grade students, I'll focus on that, 2025 scores, 69% of those scores were in levels 2 through 4, which the state considers as passing, and we met the state average in that. So that is an area that we're pleased in because we did meet the state average, but none of us want to say that 69% is good enough. We know that we have much work to do. When we think about reading on or above grade level, we'll look at that fourth grade group. 56% of our students were on or above grade level. The state average is 57%. So again, we're trending right there with the state for fourth grade. I use fourth grade because it is, third grade is that critical year for reading. Fourth grade tells us what we need to know about students and their success. So we have really been spending a lot of time making sure that our fourth graders are well prepared before they head into middle school and sixth grade. This current year, we've worked really diligently in our schedules to make sure that there is 120 minutes every day, uninterrupted, dedicated to literacy. In terms of that, our cornerstone of literacy helps us prepare our older students for the workforce. And we know that to be able to contribute to society, you must be college and career ready, and you must be able to obtain a job, hold a job, and be successful in our job. And our goal is to prepare students for that future. We do that through our pathway programs. Currently, we have 14 pathways, and those range from high tech like computer science, drone mechanics, to healthcare pathways, athletic training, all the way to things such as welding and construction with a specialization in roofing. We want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to find success in a pathway that can lead to a job in our county or in our region. Because again, we want to make sure that we are a catalyst to that workforce development. Currently, we had 41% of our students who successfully completed a pathway. So that means not only did they complete all the coursework and pass it, but they also reached the national certification. So they didn't just say, hey, I took healthcare pathway and I took these courses. I'm actually a trained certified nursing assistant. And I use that as an example because 100% of our students in the healthcare pathway passed and became certified nursing assistants, which just lends them right open to the door for employment and for the next steps, whether they go on to be LPNs, whether they go into other healthcare industries, they have that basic knowledge. So that is something we're extremely proud of and are continuing to grow and work in our partnership with Central Georgia Tech, where we do these programs. In terms of where we want to go and what we've been doing since July is truly making sure that we are focused on those main areas: workforce development, literacy, and good citizenship. We started first and foremost with making sure that our reading resources met the state's requirement, and that we also provided the appropriate training to our teachers and the coaching. And in terms of workforce development, we've been able to partner with some additional businesses so that we could gain opportunities for work-based learning, and continuing to work with our agencies here so that we do have the pathways that are what our county needs to be successful. As we move forward, in terms of other items for this year, we took a big leap forward in July and went ahead and implemented the governor's recommendation for cell phone-free schools. That did not need to begin until July of '26, but we knew that it was coming, and so we worked with our principals and shared out with our parents. And so the beginning of this school year, it was cell phone-free school zone, and we have been very successful with that. We obviously, students, bring their cell phones, and when they do, they know exactly what happens when we take them up, and, we work with our parents on that. But the purpose, first and foremost, is to make sure that our intentions at school are focused on good behavior, strong academics, and learning to be good citizens who can have a great job in our community. And we know that the things that we hear from our industry leaders is that our students can come out prepared and know the job and know the skills, but do they have the soft skills, the work skills? Do they know when to put that phone away and do the work? And so we want to help make sure that school is a preparation for that. So we appreciate our leadership at the state in helping move that forward. And we appreciate our Board of Education for saying, no need for the delay, let's move forward and let us do that this year. We've shared with our students as we've done that, isn't it going to be great? You're already used to it. So next year when everybody's fussing about it, it's going to be something that's a long habit for you. And I will share, I have a Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And those young adults, and really we have students from third grade up, but those students have been very vocal in what it has meant to not have distractions in their class. And it's quite interesting that some of them were the ones in the beginning sending emails and asking for personal meetings because they wanted to talk about how unfair it was to not have a cell phone. But here it is now, January, and to see the growth and the maturity and to hear their feedback on what that's doing in their classes has just been something that we're really proud of. And also, we're very proud of a new partnership with Atrium at the hospital called Project Search. And that is for young adults with disabilities who are aging out of school, who can go and work with supported employment at the hospital in a meaningful job. And that has been a first-year implementation, and we have heard nothing but positive success from the leaders at the hospital and also these young adults who have a meaningful job. Because as we talk about the work we want to do for children and for our community, it's for all. We know that we have many students who are going to go off to college and they're going to choose, extremely competitive careers, but we know that we need to make sure that our school system serves the need of every child and every family. So the Project Search is something we've been very pleased with. And kind of to wrap up and close is to just let you know, a few examples of what we're doing in the world of work in terms of our pathways, and that these are the initiatives that we're really streamlining to make sure that we're very focused, whether it's an administrator, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a student or a parent. They know that our purpose is to ensure literate students are ready to graduate and contribute to the local work world and be independent and successful in their lives. So we are very excited about the programs that we have been doing and the ones that we're continuing to strengthen. And I do want to share as we close out, there's really 3 areas that we've focused in on and that we are using to guide our work every day. We'll skip to the next one, and that's these 3 priorities. That every child at every grade should read at grade level. That is something we're committed to. We're going to continue the hard work and make sure that we see that continued progress. Every student, when they come across that graduation stage, that they can tell us, are they employed in a competitive job? Are they enlisting in the military? Or are they enrolling in college, technical school, or university? That when they leave our schools, that they have a plan, and that plan is going to be in one of those 3 areas. And then the one that's the most important, today's students become tomorrow's community. And so we want to ensure that as we work with our children and our families, that we're working toward good citizenship, because the quality of the children that we are helping support in their academics will be what provides our community the resources they need for a productive future. So I appreciate the time that you've given us. This is just a reminder of those innovative steps that we're doing with the Career Academy. We have an International Baccalaureate program, our Success Academy, our College and Career Academy. All of that begins even at our youngest student through that Montessori program. None of this happens if we don't do it together. And so our schools are working together. We're working with our governance teams, which are parents and business leaders at each school that work with the principals to talk about ideas and give feedback. And we can't get to the peak if we don't all get there together. And so we want to make sure that we're working in one fashion, one mission for all of us, and that is outside of just the school, that's here to support this county and this community. So I appreciate the time that you've given us to give a little update about where we are and what's been going on.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. You know, you and I kind of got into these positions at the same time, and I have just been so pleased with your leadership. And really, the entire Board of Education has been fantastic since at least I've been in this role. You know, we've had meetings about starting summer camps at Walter B. and what that looks like, and that's all very, very exciting, encouraging stuff. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Well, we appreciate the support from this county, from this commissioners. And again, as you said, to echo our elected Board of Education, they come in with one single agenda, and that is success for all children. And so we're very blessed and fortunate. We have good principals in our schools. We know that there are continued things to improve upon. That is what we all want to do, is we never arrive, that every day we're going to continue to improve and seek excellence. So I appreciate you all. Thank you.
And I got one quick question.
Yes, sir.
You just said we got 2 representatives, but we actually have 3 representatives here
Oh,
in
thank
Baldwin
you.
County. And I know sometimes it's hard to remember that because we just got him to come over. And you said the poverty rate is 88%. Is that 88% of the students in the property?
Say it again.
They're
Oh, poverty.
Property rate.
That is the, based on how the state calculates, for us, based on free reduced lunch. We have 100% free meals for all students.
Okay.
But based on the calculations at the state level, it's 88% poverty rate. For the students enrolled in our school system.
Right.
Since he opened the door for questions, I'd like you to, turn your mic on. They can hear me. When I went to school a couple hundred years ago, one of the most important, I knew Scott would say something. One of the most important classes I think I took was civics, you know, and you mentioned about, citizenship so can you tell me a little bit more about what y'all are doing in that area?
Yeah, I am so proud of what has already been in place and how we're strengthening it this year with a very singular focus. All schools, even our early learning center from Head Start age 3 and above, but all schools are working with something called Leader in Me. And the Leader in Me is basically a curriculum and a resource that's based in Stephen Covey and letting students learn to take ownership, goal set, and how that translates into having good citizenship and having ownership and having agency to make choice. Because as we said, the number of students enrolled, the majority of them come from households of poverty, and we want to make sure that we are using our education system as a way to help support a next step so that students can have successful careers, that they can be extremely literate. And that begins even with age 3 through that Leader in Me program, where they're learning, here's how I make good choices, and they're owning how to make good choices, and they're setting their own goals. And then they're meeting and they're having one-on-one conversations with their leader, and then they are becoming their own leader. And they're helping set class goals, they're helping set school goals, and we see this up in our I'll use like high school. Then they become responsible for setting up, what field trips are they going to go on? And they have to seek consensus with that. They have to learn to go through conflict resolution when everyone doesn't agree. And so we're really proud of what we're seeing with the Leader in Me, and that it's a ground up. This isn't an initiative that we said, hey, you must do this and it must happen this way. It looks different at every school, and it actually looks different in between other classes because different students have different ways of taking ownership and showing goals. But that's really been our main focus for civics.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything for Dr. Brooks? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Snyder from CVB, who also does a phenomenal job. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me this evening. I really appreciate it.
Do you have a PowerPoint too?
I do, yes. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it. Just a quick annual report for you. Since the 1980s, we have been serving as the steward of our community brand at the Milledgeville Baldwin County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we have a contract relationship with both the city of Milledgeville as well as Baldwin County to spend the state designated hotel motel tax collection for Baldwin County and the city of Milledgeville as legally appropriate. So both the city and Baldwin County are able to keep an unrestricted portion of that funding, but there is a restricted portion of hotel motel tax funds that has to be spent legally on the promotion of tourism. So our office receives and gets to be the steward of those funds. For our community, we have more than 1 million people that visit Baldwin County each year. That generates an $86.5 million economic impact for our community. Dr. Brooks shared with us that the school system employs 755 employees. It's a little bit harder to see what our industry employs sometimes because we're not all in one place. But we know for Baldwin County, it's over 900 jobs are related to hospitality. And just quickly, one of the reasons that we invest in this industry is for the economic relief of our own citizens. By bringing people from external sources into our community, it helps to increase sales tax revenue, which then should be driving down property taxes. We have some exciting things ahead. We're really looking forward. If I could have you go back just one, Carlos, I'm sorry. Thank you. We have some exciting things coming ahead. We currently have just over 600 hotel rooms within our community. And this year, we helped announce alongside our partners that we expect more than 200 new rooms to be added to our inventory in the next 3 years. So one of those properties, which is currently under construction, is located in front of Fouts Brothers or Smyrna Trucking Company. And then the other property is going to be in our downtown district. We are incredibly excited about this because we have seen, especially since COVID-19, that we have really reached a place where our demand is far outpacing the amount of availability that we have within our hotel community. So we desperately need new rooms because right now we're really in the business of displacing business into our surrounding communities, and we want to stop that. We want to retain those dollars right here in our own community. We are incredibly grateful that you all have had so much dialogue and discourse about Walter B. Williams Park and really just the sports complex and facility improvements. Our office collaborates with a company called Placer AI, which is a research firm that uses AI and cell phone technology to be able to help us understand the flow of traffic within our community. And we did a quick look at the kind of traffic that comes to Walter B. Williams. And we know that in the last year, more than 500,000 visits were out at Walter B. Williams. Now, when I say visit, that includes community residents. It's not just tourism related. But we know the average person going to Walter B. is going about 4 times. So there are over 100,000 unique visitors to that space. And we recognize that there is so much opportunity when it comes to what can be done out there to create economic relief for our own community. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. So I have 10 things that I just want to share with you about what our office worked on this year that is making a difference. As you may know, we not only are our tourism organization, but we also are our county's film liaison. And sometimes it takes a lot of dates to get a diamond when it comes to film. But last year in January, we kickstarted the year with a collaboration with Hallmark. We were able to bring Hallmark into the community for a new streaming television series that they had, and they filmed at about 10 different locations within Baldwin County. So we thought that was a really great win, and I can tell you even today, I don't know what it is about January, but even today I was on the phone with 2 different projects that are looking to scout the space within the next week. So, that's another way that we're driving revenue into the community. Our office also celebrated our very first conference collaboration last year. This is new for us because we don't have a lot of conference and meeting space within Baldwin County that's not collegiate owned. And most of the space that is collegiate owned, of course, is used for collegiate purposes. So we were able to fortunately partner with Georgia College and State University to bring our first conference in. And that conference generated more than $52,000 worth of income for our community. They were here for 3 days. Our office gave them a grant of about $3,000 to come into the community and host their conference here. And you see the return on that for what that generated for our community was substantial. For every dollar we invested, $17 returned locally. We, of course, are also tasked with building our community's profile before the media, and we had a really phenomenal year. We earned more than $4 million worth of articles across the nation from some really large publications. Everything from Smithsonian Magazine to the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, MSN's homepage multiple times last year. If we had had to purchase this space, we would have never been able to afford it. This far exceeds the budget that we have in our office. But for every $1 our team invested, $267 returned in terms of media value, which is just phenomenal. We're so proud of our team for that. We also work a lot in the social influencers space. These, of course, are people that are content creators, whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, where they are working to build their own brand and do that in collaboration with destinations. We worked with an influencer out of Atlanta. We worked with a gentleman who actually owns a home here on Lake Sinclair as a second home. And then we also worked with someone out of Charlotte, North Carolina to just boost our exposure. Our partnerships with these 3 collaborators ended up with more than 80,000 views from people that maybe were not in our realm previously. So again, we're just working to boost our presence and show people that Baldwin County is a really appealing destination. Whether you're coming for the charm of town or whether you're coming to enjoy a great day on the lake, we have a lot of different options here. We also expanded our leisure advertising campaign. You see here a quick snapshot of what that looks like. More than 450,000 consumers were able to see the advertising that we placed across different platforms. We focus predominantly on Georgia. Our number 1 visitor is actually a Georgia resident, but we see that our fastest growing market is actually the Floridian, and we really like that because Floridians stay longer and they spend more. So while we will take any and all visitors, we are grateful to see Florida really becoming this emerging market for us, which then we see translating sometimes into relocation within our community. I know Georgia Power and our real estate community have talked a lot to our office about that recently. But we see that, we just have reach when it comes to the Southeast in general in terms of the interest that we're driving. And this is just a quick snapshot of the type of places that we do have advertising. So everywhere from Jacksonville to Orlando, Savannah, Atlanta. It really runs the gamut. Some publications that are quite large, some of that are a little bit more intimate. We also work in partnership with Milledgeville Main Street to host Milledgeville Burger Week. This is a county-wide collaboration. Every restaurant in Baldwin County is invited to participate in this week free of charge. Our office works in partnership with the Georgia Beef Board to fully fund this event and marketing promotion. And we have more than 4,500 hamburgers that are bought, which results in $45,000 worth of economic impact for our community. And again, you can see I'm really tied to the numbers and making sure that we're good stewards of the dollars we receive. For every dollar we invest toward this promotion, $11 returns to our local business community, which we consider to be a tremendous win. We usually run this in May after the collegiate season has kind of ended because we know our restaurant partners need a boost at that time. One thing that we found really interesting, we did a survey coming out of the pandemic just to better understand wedding facilities and what our partners were seeing, where they were driving and pulling business from. And we were shocked to find that the majority of our wedding venues actually had no marketing budget. So we realized they were not marketing, so we needed to help market for them. So we have been marketing for the last 4 years to the wedding industry. We attend different wedding trade shows throughout the state. This year, you see here, we created our very first bridal guide, which we are going to launch and hand out in 2 weeks at our very first bridal trade show, which we're doing in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce and Georgia College. We are focused on trying to get more people to get married here and to travel for destination weddings, especially those that are alumni. I'm sorry, it looks like it skipped a slide, but no, I'm sorry, it just must not be populating. What it should be showing is that we had a collaboration this year with Huddle Up Group, and thank you so much because several of you really helped participate in the discussion around that. We really appreciate it. We recognize that there is a real opportunity when it comes to sports within this community. We may not have huge conference and convention space. Even our wedding facilities are limited in capacity. But when it comes to driving revenue, we know that we have some real opportunity around sports. So we hired a consultant to work with us and help us understand this space. I'm not shy about telling people I'm a girly girl. I'm not a sports girl. So I've had to learn a lot about the sports world to be able to do this. But one of the things they helped us understand is just the plethora of venues that we have here. We realized and recognized we have more than 40 facilities in Baldwin County that could be utilized for sports. And it was things that we weren't even thinking of, like GMC's Center of Leadership. It could be great for dance or cheer competitions. The Oconee River is really lovely and beautiful, but we didn't think about how that could be useful for something like paddle kayak fishing. So it's really opened our eyes to the opportunity that lies before us. So we're getting in the game in a big way when it comes to sports. Over the 3 years, our office will invest more than $150,000 to really build a strong sports infrastructure. You see here, we worked with various sports events, everything from fishing to softball to cycling, to bring more than 10,000 visitors to Baldwin County. I have been asking the state of Georgia kind of what they say about what people in travel parties spend when they travel for sports. And the median family that is traveling for a sports event is just for a day trip, not even overnight, is spending $300 for travel party, which is really significant when you think about the economic impact that can have for gasoline, restaurants, stopping and buying souvenirs. So we think that this could be a huge winning space for us. Just a quick case study. You guys have been a fantastic partner to the Georgia Cycling Association. This is an event that actually used to be out at Bartram Forest that needed to move and find a new home. And Walter B. Williams Park has become that new home. Our office invests $3,500 to help keep that event here in Baldwin County each year. We don't want them leaving. And they bring more than 4,000 people for this event each year. We know that their economic impact on a really modest scale is more than $125,000. And again, for every $1 we invest, $36 returns to our own community. This is the power of sports. We really see a pathway where the more we can be investing in sports, the more it can be offsetting even hopefully operational costs of things like Walter B. And then finally, we want to create a sustainable workforce and a sustainable future for our industry. We recognize that with 2 new hotels coming on the horizon, they are just 2 hotels of what should probably be 1,000 new room nights in Central Georgia over the next 3 to 5 years. That's going to require real people to be able to be present and work those jobs. So we are so thrilled to be able to say that Georgia Military College worked with our office to launch a tourism and hospitality management program, and we have invested $30,000 towards the launch of that program to make sure that our community has the workforce that it needs. And, one of the things that I'm really proud of is none of this is the money that you give to us. That would not be a legal expenditure of the money that we're gifted. But this is money that we self-generate through our own trolley tour program so that we're able to do things for the betterment of our community. We have one of the best jobs, I think, in Baldwin County. We get to brag on our community all the time, and we get to see all of the wonderful positive pieces of it and get to tell people why they will love it here. And we're so grateful for another year of partnership with you all. We love what we do, and we really hope that we are great stewards of the funding that we receive in making sure that we're impactful to this community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And from time to time over the year, I've dropped into your office and we've talked at length about so much stuff and much of which you discussed here. I'm so glad the public gets a chance to hear this. Seems like every time you have an idea, I'm like, yes, that's a great idea. You're full of wonderful ideas and your team has done fantastic work in this community. I think the work on, for instance, kind of thinking outside the box in spaces we haven't been in, which is the vast tournaments, really trying to hone in on that, do better there. But, if through our conversations, and I would like all of you to know, that I just feel like we need a product. We need a better product. And so, and this is really what I'm getting at is Walter B. Williams, that we can just do so much better there. So we've commissioned this comprehensive plan. I've made you one of the stakeholders because of all of your great ideas and your dedication to this community and under your willingness to serve. But I just look forward to giving you a product, something to work with. So, and I hope the whole board does.
We appreciate all that you're collaborating with us on. We are very excited even about the golf course and what that will mean for us. Already, our sports consultants are telling us that we have locked down more than $15,000 worth of business just for Walter B. And all of that is revenue that will come back to the Parks and Recreation family just for 2026. So everything from US Fast Pitch to World of Pickleball, the investment that you are making is really making a difference for the type of business that we're able to bring to this community, and we're grateful for it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, if I could have a point of privilege.
Sure.
I do want to just recognize newly elected Councilwoman Arlene Simmons is with us tonight. So,
Thank you. Thank you for coming. With that, I guess we'll get into the administrative and fiscal matters. So number 7 goes to number 4, and that would,
Number 4 goes to number 7.
well,
Number 4 is the
sure.
golf.
So,
Tax anticipation.
okay, so we'll do the tax anticipation note, item number 5. Ms. Liggins, you signed up to speak on that issue number 5.
Right, do we not normally listen to what's gonna be presented and then I make questions? And ask questions?
I don't know if anybody will answer the questions. I'm giving you an opportunity. You want to tell us, I mean,
I think she wants to hear what we're gonna say
Last year
first.
and the year before, Chair, Mr. Tobar or whoever comes up and does their presentation.
just start to 3 minutes.
And then I come up and ask questions because I don't know what's gonna be said. So would that not be the right way?
Sure. Carlos, go ahead and give us the tax anticipation note,
Sure, it's
so Ms.
for,
Liggins can figure out what she wants to say.
it's for $10 million. It's a revolving line of credit. We went out to bid and the low bid was 5.25%.
Okay? Ms. Liggins?
Hi, Gumbo, Desiree Wiggins, Baldwin County, Milledgeville. So my questions are, do we pay interest on this loan? Please hold your answers for when I'm done, sir. Do we pay interest on this loan? How much is that interest? And then he answered the question, does all the county, or no, he didn't. Do all counties do this, or is it just Baldwin County that does it? And then also, this TAN loan, is it for the entire budget, which he just said $10 million, when the budget is over $32.5 million for 2026? So can you answer those questions, whoever?
Sure, it's a revolving line of credit that we pay interest on. Should this
How
county be run?
much?
Well,
He said it with the
it's,
low bid.
yeah,
5.25%.
5.25%. So should the county be run this way? No. Nobody up here wants this county run this way. So our solution to it would be to get some revenue from somewhere. You've just heard.
Or stop spending money.
Where do you want to cut, Ms. Liggins?
Stop spending money.
Okay,
TrackMan, $138,000. Pickleball court,
that's what we should do. You know what we should?
stop spending
Do
money.
you think we should close the rec
Slow
center,
your
Ms.
roll.
Liggins?
I've said that. Slow your
that
roll.
what you wanna do?
You owe $3 million to the city, and you kept spending and spending. We don't even have a reserve that Don said we needed. We were lacking half of that, but you kept spending and spending. You didn't start my clock, lawyer.
Yeah.
Just need to stop spending. Again, do all counties do this or only Baldwin County?
It's not only Baldwin County. I can't.
Is it the
recite-
norm?
No.
Okay, thank you
think
for
it
your
is.
time.
It's been this way for a long time, just so you know. Okay? I totally agree with you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to remind everybody that I believe that our policy is that we let people speak, and then we have Carlos or somebody on our staff email and give them an answer.
Sure.
I think that would keep down some of the back and forth that we have.
Nobody else signed up to speak on this. The discussion among the board on this? I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
One last chance? Go ahead.
I want to say, let the public know, this is anticipated note. It depends on what interest we pay back to the bank, depends on how much money we need. I promise you, we're working hard around this board to make that amount be less as possible if we can, but unfortunately, we're in a situation throughout the county where we need to increase our TAD. Hopefully, in the near future, we won't have to do that, but for now, we gotta do it, but we're gonna work hard as a board together to try to keep it as low as we can and generate funds for this county. It's a tough situation, but that's why we get paid the big ones to make these things happen. Y'all hold us accountable, no problem.
Yeah.
It's so big that me and Commissioner Butts can't even afford a tie.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say about it is we're pretty much maxed out. If you want to borrow more than 10 million, you're going to have to go to some of the banks. You won't be able to use local banks anymore. And this number has steadily increased over a long period of time. How many years have we been using a tax anticipation note?
Well, the entire 8 years I've been here, but I don't know before my time.
Does anybody know?
Long time.
A long time. This is certainly not something that you can fix overnight. It's certainly not something that you can fix with the amount of growth that we've seen here. We're taking all the steps necessary to try to, when we do spend money, that we spend money in ways that gives us taxpayers a good return on that money. That it's not just, putting taxpayer money in where it's going to end up costing us more money. So we've done that as a board. Not only that, I would just remind the public that we've taken some pretty drastic action here to try to repair some of these financial woes that the county has. And, if you look at history here, there's been more progress in the past year than there has been in a very long time on these issues. You're going to see we've altered our financial policies where we're going to where basically Carlos has no choice but to provide us with adequate financial reports. There's many things from policies to procedures. in terms of trying to fix this financial situation. So I would say that.
And Mr. Chair, I'll say, Mr. Chairman, I would like to add, if I could.
Sure.
That it's, Carlos, how many projects do you have cooking right now?
Well, I said it was 16, but I think it's 17 now.
All right, and the closest county to our size is Glenn County, and they have how many?
3.
And a lot of those projects are SPOS dollar projects, am I correct?
Well, ours are mostly grant funded.
Grant funding. So, just for the public, when you hear us spending money, that it's not all out of your property tax dollars. It is grant funds, SPOS dollars that aren't coming out of your property taxes. So it's real easy to feel like, I understand Ms. Liggins's, how she feels about that, but because she hears us going, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. But not all of those dollars are coming from your property taxes. We're doing that with, hopefully, we get to do a lot of those things with other people's money.
Grants and sales tax.
Yeah. I'm done.
Commissioner Hall, can you do that again?
I call the question.
All in favor of Resolution 2026-01?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. The motion carries. Item number 6 is the CHIP application. This is Resolution 2026-02. Authorize a resolution to apply for 2026 CHIP grant. Carlos?
Okay. I would normally not say what I'm about to say, but I think it's important for you as commissioners and the public to hear. My family came from a third world country, El Salvador. In 1977, I traveled through Mexico and went to El Salvador, stayed at my grandmother's house. And when I went to the bathroom, I went to an outhouse. She didn't have indoor plumbing. And over the course of the last 3 years, I have been in some homes on the south side of this county that are third world conditions, where they can't use the toilet. It's been just shocking in many ways. I took a fellow county employee who's going to help me with these matters last week, I believe it was, and we visited 2 homes, the 2 that you recommended. And it was really difficult for both of us to walk through the home, take the photos, so that we can make our case to the Department of Community Affairs. If you drive through, especially the Oconee Heights neighborhood, right around the corner from Wesley Chapel AME, you see the outside of the homes, they kind of look okay. But you go inside and it's a different story. And, it's one of the programs that the county has that is just life-changing for a lot of folks. Lost track of how many people have shed tears from their joy and appreciation for what the county has done. And, I just urge the commissioners to continue this path. One sad note is that we already have 9 people on the waiting list for this 2026 CHIP application. There's not going to be enough funds this cycle, if we're awarded this grant, to help those 9 families. We'll be able to help 5 to 6 this round, and the other families are going to have to wait till the next round in 2028. But I'm grateful that our federal government has the funds available for communities like us to be able to apply for them, secure the grants, and to really transform people's lives. So I urge you to vote in favor of this grant application.
Well, Carlos, I know we like to talk a lot about lifting our community up. That sounds exactly like lifting our community up.
Excuse me, I didn't hear that. Say it again.
I just said, we talk about a lot about needing to lift our community up. And that sounds a lot like, absolutely like lifting our community up.
All I want to say to the board is, this is a program I've been involved with from day one when I came in office. And hopefully, when I leave office, when my term is up, and I leave office, it's going to be one of our greatest legacy, working with you, Carlos, to get this did and to do this thing. It's just one of the proudest moments and the things I see in the community when we go and uplift the community. I wish we can do it countywide and do it every year, not just 3 or 4 years, until all the citizens. And I've been trying, working with you, see how can we expand this to every community throughout Baldwin County that need this help and who can make it available. And unfortunately, at this time, we can't do it. But hopefully, that'll be my legacy and my tenure that when I leave office, that we'll touch the lives of people, because it's very impactful on these people, on these communities. And it's a great opportunity. And I encourage this board to vote for this. And my vote would be yes for this, for those reasons.
We just got to eat that elephant one bite at a time.
Yes.
Just on a side note, we are eligible for CDBG every year now because we are a GIT community.
Okay, that's even better.
But that's,
great news.
you know, that's very limited. You have a target area.
Yes,
And so you can find only about 2 to 3 homes in that target area. But I guess, you know, we can do that every year, and that adds to the houses that we can rehabilitate or reconstruct.
And Carlos, you don't see any reason why we wouldn't be eligible for this?
We should be highly favored going into the competition, so long as we've met other obligations.
Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
second.
Any further discussion needed by the board? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, Bo? Now, golf course, irrigation. Carlos, you want to brief us on that?
Sure. So we went out to bid for the golf course irrigation. We anticipated the cost was going to be over $100,000, so we have to advertise this for 4 weeks. Bids were due yesterday, so that we had to meet that 4-week requirement, so we couldn't get this to you in the agenda packet. We received one responsive bid, that was from Central Pro Supply, for $577,122.83. That'll be coming out of the SPLOST. Yesterday, I sent you the bank statement summary that reflects that we have enough funding to pay for this from the SPLOST. And this one will just be to accept the low bid and authorize the issuance of the purchase order, because this is just materials.
Right.
And, you know, I'll go ahead and give you the updates on the golf course now. So we went out to bid for the construction. That was yesterday. We met the timeline by 15 minutes. So the 4-week period is 4 p.m., February 2nd, Monday, February 2nd. Bids will be open at 4. And then you'll be voting on February 3rd for the construction. You'll be voting for the construction management contract 2 weeks from today. And based on everything that we were told by Mr. Young, we're on pace, on schedule, to have all the construction ready and the irrigation going right when the grass needs to be growing. We'll do 9 holes at first. Those should be ready to go about June 5th, if you decide to do open 9 holes at one time. And then the next one about September 5th. And then the TrackMan, everything is arriving. We have a mandatory pre-bid with the electricians and the fiber optic contractors on Monday at 10 a.m. And that's the last piece for the TrackMan. You know, the concrete's been poured, the materials are arriving, they're starting to erect the building. Furniture's arriving, everything else is arriving on site. So 5 to 6 weeks from now, you should be having a ribbon cutting ceremony for the TrackMan.
Good. Sounds good. Any questions for Carlos on that from the board before we hear from Ms. Liggins? Ms. Liggins?
How you doing again, Bo? Desiree Liggins, Milledgeville, Baldwin County. I just want to remind Commissioner Hall, my First Amendment, don't make me get my lawyer. Anyway, so back to the golf course. So back in November, the gentleman came and did the presentation on the golf course. He said it was going to cost, or it was going to require 500,000 gallons daily to start this grass you need to play golf on, and then to maintain it 275 to 300 gallons daily to keep the grass growing. How much is that going to cost us? Just a thought. SPLOST money. I thought we were going to cease all spending of SPLOST money till this investigation was over with. Obviously not. So we're looking at an additional $577,000 plus, give or take, and he just said that was for materials. How much more are we going to pour into this golf course? You're spending money, you keep spending money, you're paying interest on money you've already spent. It's got to stop. We're bleeding out. We got people that have tore up bathrooms. Maybe you should fix those bathrooms before you put a golf course in.
Mr. Liggins?
Good evening, everybody. Maurice Liggins. In reference to the golf course renovation improvements, to kind of save the taxpayers some dollars, maybe a couple, have we thought about reaching out to the college to see if they want to chip in on this? Maybe GMC, maybe school board, because when we first started this discussion, I had a question. It was brought up that maybe the college is going to use the golf course for some of their tournaments, because I see the need for it since the presentation from the tourist lady. So we're trying to give her a finished product, right? So why not try to reach out to the other entities that we have out here, maybe Georgia College, since they own a lot of property and they don't pay a lot of property taxes. Maybe it could save us some dollars on the splash. Just a thought. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion by the board needed?
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman,
Second.
to approve.
Motion to approve, and you're second that? Any last words? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I didn't get who seconded it. I did.
None opposed. Motion carries. Now, the election of the chairman and vice chair for the remainder of this year.
I
I would like to
nominate,
nominate Kendrick
Commissioner-
Butts, Chairman.
Okay.
it was almost like we planned it. I second it.
Any discussion needed?
Call for the question.
All in favor of making Vice Chairman Kendrick Butts Chairman of the Baldwin County Commission?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries, Bo. It was unanimous. Entertain a motion to,
I nominate Emily Davis as vice chair.
Second.
any discussion needed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
No? Motion fails. I will nominate Scott Little, Vice
Second.
Chairman.
I second it.
Any discussion needed? Hearing none, all in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Chairman Butts and Vice Chairman Little.
Thank you.
Where are we at here? Old business.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Carlos, the lights at the pickleball courts, are they on a timer or shouldn't they be on a timer if they're not?
You turn the knob and it'll turn on, and then it expires, and if you want to keep playing, you turn it back on again.
Okay, because,
It's a manually operated.
okay, well, this,
Yeah. Yeah,
but this was a very cold night. It was almost midnight. They were on.
yeah. They close at 11 o'clock.
Oh,
So if you're there past 11, they won't come on. Well, they shouldn't come on.
okay, because this was about 11:45 or so.
Yeah, they shouldn't be on that late.
Yeah. It was a cold night. Didn't think anyone would be playing pickleball that cold.
Or they play late. They play late out there.
Okay. And also trash. I had sent you some information about some, concerns people had about some trash pickups and garbage cans being torn up.
Yeah.
So
There is a new customer service number.
Right, I know, but they're not getting any response, so they called me and I reached out to Waste Management directly myself, and I just sent you the information so we could have a record of it.
Okay.
Anything else for old business?
How are we looking on the 125 Maple Street? With what the young lady came and spoke with us last week?
Yes, sir. As some of you may know, our county engineer is not available right now. So as soon as he's back, which should be next week, he'll get going on that.
So we already on about the 6 or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything else on old business? New business.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Some of our departments are having problems with updated phone numbers. They don't have phone numbers, and they have sent customers emails, they put it in the bills, and if they needed a phone number, so we really need our customers to update phone numbers for tax assessor, water, just all departments. So we need that to try to get that out some kind of way.
Commissioner Davis, I need to make sure I understand that. Are you saying that
A lot of phone numbers are not working.
our phone numbers
No,
or
no,
the
no.
residents?
Residents'
Okay.
phone numbers,
Okay, okay.
customers. And those numbers, we need to see what we can do to try to get customers to update their phone numbers.
Got it.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything else, new business? Okay. Carlos, would you like to do the county manager's report?
All right, so today, some of you went to the Mary Vincent Library grand reopening. Commissioner Hall made some comments, so hopefully everybody was pleased with how the library was laid out. I'm gonna let the Middle Georgia Regional Library decide when they wanna do the reveal for the Collins Peely Memorial Library. You know, it's pretty spectacular what the interior is gonna look like, but I don't wanna steal their thunder, and I definitely didn't wanna do the reveal before this grand reopening today, so didn't wanna steal Mary Vincent Library's thunder. But be on the lookout for that, and we'll be presenting that to the public. We should be going out to bid on that late February for the construction of the Collins Peely Memorial Library. The galvanized water line inventory continues. Some of our residents are getting letters about that project. And I do have to call one resident back. I provided some incorrect information. So your letters are gonna say that there's an inventory going on. They will likely tell you if you have galvanized water lines going into your property, from the meter back to your property. But the grant that we have right now is just to replace the galvanized water lines that the county owns. So just want to make sure everybody knows. They may change the rules, but as of right now, if we're going to replace the water lines, it's going to be to the meter, and then the customers would have to replace their galvanized water lines from the meter back to their house. Let's see.
Carlos?
Yes,
Didn't
ma'am.
we get some money from the federal government or somewhere to do that?
Well, right now, it's for the county to replace its galvanized water lines, but if they change the rules, more than likely there will be additional funds so that we can replace the laterals. Similar to CDBG,
Right.
like when we do CDBG, we don't just do our lines, we do the laterals for the residents. But as of right now, that's not the rule.
But I thought you told me we had gotten some funding for that, from the meter to the house.
Yeah, no, that's the part that I was mistaken. I was mistaken about that. And I
Okay.
gotta make a phone call tomorrow and correct my statement.
Okay.
The sewer line for the CDBG 2024, this is the last one. This is actually on Vincent Highway, and the last one east of Vincent Highway, but some of it is gonna be on Vincent Highway, Thompson Street, and Marion Street. That has started. So you'll see some disruptions out on the road, construction work, and possibly lane closures and things like that in the next few weeks to months. The sewer line replacement housing rehab for 2025. So that is every year now, so it's every year we're gonna have to give you updates on each of these grants. We're waiting for the notice to proceed on the housing side. The housing pre-construction meeting is tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock. We have a chip at 9, and then the two houses that are gonna be torn down and reconstructed, that meeting's at 10 o'clock tomorrow. We're waiting for that notice to proceed so that we can get the families out of their homes, and then we can start the demolition process. And then Habitat for Humanity is building those two new homes on behalf of the county. For the 2026, the target area has been selected. And as I stated, I went with another county employee to look at two of these houses. So we're gonna identify those two homes, and I think we have space for one more house. The budget is being prepared, and then we'll finish the windshield survey of that target area sometime this month. For the road resurfacing, some punch list items still remain. I was told this afternoon that the asphalt plant reopened and the contractor did the cul-de-sacs at Sidney Butts Road and Neely's Way yesterday, although we have not been able to confirm that because that was a surprise to us. We didn't know that the asphalt plant was going to be reopened. So on my way home, I'm going to check out one of those roads. Let's see. On the Harrisburg Park improvements, they were finishing up the sidewalks today. They were doing some grading where the playground equipment is gonna go. They poured the concrete for the foundation for the new community center today, sent the photos over to Sampson Steel so that they can start the process for the metal building. And let's see. I'm just giving you some highlights here. For the 2024 CHIP grant, we're waiting for the fourth family to move back into their home. Everything is pretty much ready. We should be doing the final inspection tomorrow. I spoke to Pastor Tracy Wells, and we plan to have a home dedication, possibly a home dedication / street party on Barnes Avenue. Sometime in, let's see, where are we? January 6th. Hopefully sometime later this month, and it's going to be on a Saturday. That's when Pastor Wells is in town. Let's see. And then on the congressionally directed spending request for $1.3 million for the 10 Habitat homes east of Vincent Highway, I received an email today from Representative Mike Collins on the House side, and he says he's going to be monitoring that bill. So that's good news there.
Can you say
This is the one that Senator Ossoff sponsored, and it passed the Senate Appropriations Committee for the 10 Habitat for Humanity homes. And it's in the budget for $1.3 million, and we need it to stay in the budget. So we're asking our friends on the House side to work and keep it in there.
When we think we might hear something from that?
We'll know as soon as we know when the budget is passed, the federal budget. So
We think we'll know this session, we'll know by the end.
I'm hoping, yes, sir, by springtime, yes, sir. We talked about the golf course improvements already, and then 3 last bits of information on the code enforcement side. If any resident received a letter from code enforcement and their deadline is February 1st, and they received a phone call from the assistant district attorney, time is running out, you have until February 1st. I can clearly see that the phone calls the assistant district attorney has made has helped, because we've been getting photos from people who've shown that they've cleaned up their properties. They don't want to face Mr. Barksdale in court, but if they continue to ignore us, that's what they're facing. So,
Carlos, on that, the issue with the shipping container,
yes, sir.
is that one of these issues you're talking about?
I have not received word that they've complied. So if they have not complied, they're going to go to court.
But they got a letter.
Yes, sir.
And what about the one on Wolverine Street? Been dealing with 5, 6, 8 years.
If they have not complied, they're going to go to court as well.
How about Sportsman's Trail?
Same thing.
All of the above.
All of the above.
So I don't need to ask, all of the above.
So I've only gotten 2 emails recently, from people trying to stay away from trouble, and they've shown pictures of what they've done. So long as they make progress, we give them more time. But if they continue to ignore us, they're going to court. On the animal control side, we've had 20 applicants for the low-cost spay and neuter, so we're excited about that. And then on the cat side, they initiated that program last night. Don't have any numbers on applications for the low-cost spay and neuter on the cat side. And you saw from Ms. Rebecca that you had 500,000 visitors to Walter B. in 2025. With everything you got going on in 2026, I expect that you'll be at 1 million visitors to Walter B.
Yeah, because
Hope
that was
so.
without a pool.
I hope so. It should be the center of our community.
So have you, put it out for bid for the restaurants to?
Not yet, but that's coming.
Okay,
And I'll be getting reports weekly
okay,
on everything going on with the water park and the reopening, or the grand opening. So there's a lot of things that still need to happen, and I'll be getting updates weekly, and I'll be sharing those with you.
Are we looking at having a job fair to try to start, get ready to start hiring?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're gonna have a job fair where out there or here? Here or somewhere?
Probably here at the county, yeah.
and just remember that, Middle Georgia Consortium has a program for lifeguards if we can partner with Georgia College. They're gonna provide the funding.
Carlos, we need to keep that ball moving, because we do not want to be near opening day and struggling to have things. This grand opening has to be grand. I mean,
Yes.
we can't drop the ball.
Yes, sir. We've been working on a lot of these items. But you're gonna get written reports.
I'd like for you to tell me by, say, April the 1st, we're ready to open.
Yes, sir.
May the 1st,
Yes, sir.
Whatever.
And I have the number from Mr. Scott if you need it, with Middle Georgia Consortium. Because they have the money for
We'll
Georgia,
get
to
it.
pay Georgia College to train lifeguards.
Anything else?
I do want to say, and I'll just talk about water lines and such. I do want to give a kudos to our water department team. There was a water line breakage in my district, and a lady called me on Friday, just frantic. My water's off, assuming it was going to be off all weekend. And so I reached out to Jason. He's like, "Oh, no. I mean, this is after 5 o'clock. But I'm getting parts right now. That water will be on in about an hour or so. So kudos to them. I know Friday's probably a hard day to stay over, and they did it and made sure that Cape Harbor Headwater.
Now for public comment period for non-agenda items, Ms. Liggins.
Last time, Bo, for today. So I'm here 2 years later, talking about Sydney Butts Road. It's very disturbing that TrackMan, 5-6 weeks, but 2 years, Sydney Butts Road. Just for Carlos' situational awareness, Sydney Butts had an outhouse. So I just don't understand why the priority is for the golf course. I'm not saying that it's not a nice to have. I'm just saying you need to take care of your people first, and then the nice recreational stuff should come later. You don't let your kid go play if his homework ain't done. You don't let him eat candy before he eats a good substance meal. I'm just real concerned, all these new jobs that are coming, are they gonna be paying living wages for people in Baldwin County? Because that is the problem. You wouldn't have people in the South Side trying to survive if they were paid living wages and were making enough money to survive in Baldwin County while other people were living on the hill. Signage, never did I know that in front of that Faust building was a hotel. Why isn't it a priority that Baldwin County requires these new construction, these new builds, to be labeling what is going up in our community? I shouldn't have to learn after the building's almost completely wooded up that it's a hotel, that's gonna be a lot of traffic on a road that I travel. Something to think about. 17 projects, Commissioner Little, that's a lot when you're saying our comparable county is 3. So that in itself should be slow your roll. Maybe we're doing too much. You're doing the most, Baldwin County. I really would like to start 2026 off on a good foot, and I'm hoping that we can move in a positive direction because I will continue to exercise my right to speak my voice. Have a good day.
I hope you do. Is it Newman?
Yes.
Thank you. And I flipped to this page. You signed up on a non-agenda item, but it looks like maybe you wanted to speak on a specific thing on the agenda. Is that true?
No,
Is that what you?
I didn't interpret that way.
Oh, it says resolution 2025-20.
20, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Matthias Newman. I'm at 112 Yacht Club. And my wife and I made Baldwin County our home about 6 years ago, and I've had the opportunity to participate in a lot of meetings. And I kind of done the same thing I did when I was going to school. I always sit in the back, kind of scope out the room, take copious notes, not remember anything. So when I mentioned to my wife that I was going to be speaking tonight, she said, "For the love of God, please take some notes and read off the notes, because otherwise I'll be involved in some fairly thought-provoking tangents that may not be of interest to everyone." So here we go. At last month's meeting, there was a lot of heated and colorful discussion about the forensic audit into the $3 million intergovernmental SPLOST funding that should have been provided to the city of Milledgeville. This topic came up again tonight. In 2 more months, it'll be a year since the Board of Commissioners introduced Resolution 2520, which was requesting an independent performance review of the tax assessor's office. Prior to the recent 2026 millage rate vote, the results of this performance review were mentioned several times by many members of the Baldwin County taxpayers who were attending the meeting. It is my understanding that this tax assessor's performance review has morphed into a much larger, comprehensive government-wide assessment. When will this much broader assessment be available for public review?
In terms of you, so the tax assessor's audit.
That's what it is.
I was told well, you got 2 separate things going on here.
Okay.
You got a forensic audit related to.
Well, I wasn't asking about that. I was pointing out that that was brought up. I was just kind of setting a timeline. I was more interested in the results from the review that's been going on for the last year that hasn't
We
been,
have not received anything from the
Okay.
Department of Revenue.
Okay.
We've been calling and saying, when you gonna get it?
okay. So when,
No answer.
when we get it, will it be made
Yes.
available to the public?
Absolutely, yes. And
Okay.
it's,
Well, part of the reason I'm asking is, quite frankly, at the last meeting when folks asked about the forensic audit, there seemed to be some hesitation in terms of whether that would be made publicly available. So I just wanted to see whether this other audit would be something that you intend on making public for review.
I think, a good way to think about this is like anything legal. What's that?
Ask the attorney.
Sure, I can answer too. If you, anything that's related to like personnel that somebody, somebody did something that's wrong or whatever in terms of personnel, if that's a thing in there, then we probably wouldn't share that publicly. And that's just because we don't talk about personnel issues or.
Which is why I'm not asking
Yeah.
about the forensic
So,
review.
but to answer
be
your
clear.
question, as much as we can publicly give you, that's what I want to share with you.
Okay.
And so, and just so you know, I had a conversation back in October with the Department of Revenue on this, and I said, well, can you give me a timeline? And I was told that they could not, and I said, well, what about the end of the year? Can you tell me I'll have it by the end of the year? Oh, yes. I was assured I'd have it by the end of the year, and here we are.
Yeah.
So we're at the mercy of the Department of Revenue. I want you to understand that.
I just wanted to kind of put a placeholder for the beginning of the year.
Sure. And I think the whole board is committed to sharing as much publicly as we can to get to the bottom of it.
Okay,
So,
great, thank you.
Melinda Brewer?
Melinda Brewer, 237 Lakeshore Circle. That's actually kind of a nice segue about making things public. I noticed that the environmental assessment plan for the terminal apron and the lower ramp expansion have been approved and submitted to GDOT. And I'd like to request a copy to be made available to the public, preferably maybe in the next agenda packet or online or something.
If I don't have, I mean, you.
I have not received the environmental assessment from the Georgia Department of Transportation.
What he's saying is when we get it, we'll give it to you, but we don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe I misunderstood the manager's report. It says that it's been approved and submitted to GDOT.
We approved to submit it to DJ.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
And then, do you want to keep going? I do not, I don't want to interrupt your time. Okay.
That's it.
So then if you'll give me your email if I don't have it, which I think I do,
Okay.
I'll make sure you get that document as soon as I get it.
Okay. Thank you.
And that will be a public document that we will publish for the public to
Okay.
review.
Good. Mr. Liggins.
Maurice Liggins. All right. Well, thank you so much, Commissioner, for allowing the young gentleman that spoke to go over his time limit, because I vaguely remember last meeting, that buzzer went off and I got told, Mr. Liggins, thank you for your time and go sit down. And I came back and I had one more question, but no, I had to go sit down. This is a perfect example of how difference people get treated. Next, moving on to 2026. I come in peace. All right, I come with a lot of bright ideas. I have a lot of bright ideas. And for what I've been hearing is, and what I've been seeing is the website. How can we get the information out to the people? I was in communication. I managed a whole bunch of servers for a whole lot of generals. I, once again, will gladly assist your IT department free of charge to help to where the people can get the information at the click of a button. I know how to do it. It's very simple. One, I can tell you, your document library is a mess. It is a mess. You're just saving and you're putting everything in one spot. That's why when you go to type in search words, I get all kinds of reports from 2021, 22, 23. Now I got to click to the third page to get to 2025. Also, your naming conventions is throwing your search off. I can help with that with just a few things. I'm not trying to take it over, but an extra free body that is known. Generals want their stuff at the click of a button. I just got some input. I got some insight. Like I said, I come in peace. Also, going forward, don't take nothing I say personal. Don't take nothing my wife say personal. We just have progressive questions. And the way we get talked to, the tone, the looks, other people don't get that. So I just want you to take that into consideration. 2026, please do some self-evaluation. Let's leave our unconscious biases out there at the door. You can talk to me however you want outside the door, but when I come and we got questions, anything that you might not want to hear, some people in this county have brought it up. I promise you. We just don't sit at home and think, oh, what we gonna say this Tuesday? I would love to not say nothing at all. But granted, it's not how it's gonna be. We got a lot of ideas. And some of the ideas are gonna help make this county some money. Because we do not want to go into this next year and the year after being broke again. Thank y'all so much. But just remember, y'all kicked me out and told me to shut up when that bell went off. But still engaged the young gentleman, just 2 folks before me. Just remember that. Remember that happened.
Yeah, for the record, Mr. Newman didn't go over his time. I was speaking when his time expired.
Right, then that's what happened to me. But I was not allowed to talk no more.
Just like you're not right now.
Yeah, I did not know.
By the way, I'm 66, I'm not that young anymore.
I will, that's everyone for
Make a motion, we adjourn.
2 executive session. Third. All in favor? Motion carries. We're in executive session.